Hello, in this video we're going to look at the vintage room by Cosmos by Vertices, which is like a Victorian style asset pack aimed at the virtual production, which normally goes for around $50. Going over to the overview level, we see the interior parts are modular, the ceiling and the roof, the floor, the exterior walls, the television, which is kind of got into the ground, this kind of drawer, this suitcase that actually is separated, and this chair. This table with the separated drawers, but it's only one part. There's like music player, the curtains, this old camera, old pipe, cassettes, books, and a carpet. And then looking at the collisions, they are convex, except for that globe or that disc. Usually they're kind of accurate. And in the lighting only view mode, you see the details of the meshes. Some of it are from the meshes and the rest are from the normal map as seen like this. There are the blueprints that are included, only this one, which includes the door and the wall with it. And then going over to the meshes, you see that the vertices are generally below 10,000. They usually use more than one material, but it's not like the issue is that there are some extra materials that are not being used in some of them. For example, this cassette, you can see that it uses the same material and the texture for different parts that could have been just one. And looking at the UVs, there are some overlapping UVs, which is good. There is no much wasted space, and each asset does contain multiple LODs. We can get rid of the extra materials using the modeling mode inside Unreal. Going into the material edit, enter the attribute, and then select the active material and select all of the vertices and assign active material, and then delete all the other materials, and it should work. It didn't. Anyways, we're going to use it on the chair instead. You can see when you delete that extra, it just becomes one material and nothing, you lose nothing. And you just save a draw call or multiple draw calls in some of the cases. Doing that with this with table as well. You can also see that the pivot on that suitcase is not in the functionally correct position, but that can easily be changed with the modeling tools as well. Looking at the texture dimensions, there are 101 4K textures, 92K and 33 1K, and 33 512 by 512, and then 12 256. There are also a few mask textures included. We have multiple master materials, but only I think one or two are being used. This is the master material like called basic PBR. It gives you some options to change the parameters. And like this bread, I don't know why isn't it included in the overview level. Anyways, going to the texture parameters, you can see that we can change. Looking at the textures, we can see the base color, mask, in this case a normal, and the AO roughness metallic packed into one texture. Go back to the parameters, we can also change the specular of it. We have this like using the color mask and which channel do you want to use it. In this case, we can just use the overall color tint to change everything, but we can also change it from the mask. We can see in this one, this case, that channel controls like the rim, and this case, the blue channel controls that outer area, and this one is like, I don't know if it's visible, maybe because of the color, but it's like the edges could be used for edge wear and stuff. And we can change the emission, enabling it, and also you can put a texture for the to mask to see which part of the emission, which part of the mesh to be emissive. I don't know why some of the meshes are not included in the overview level, like this phone, this vase. It's strange. Let's look at the showcase level. Uh, Everything is super high quality and detail. Nothing breaks even up close, so it's definitely virtual production. Asset pack that is currently free for the month, so grab it while you can. It's very high quality, and the details, like I said, does not break up close. Some of the things that I disliked, or hope that it would be better, some of the functional parts especially in the drawers for the desk, they're separated as one mesh. I mean, I you can actually separate it more into different ones, but since this aims for virtual production, I don't know if I can complain about it, but yeah, that's something I would like to be addressed, along with the extra material slots that's not being used. And not all of the meshes have separated parts. Something like the telephone or television, yeah, they don't have separated functional parts, but you probably can do that even with the modeling mode. One thing I kind of noticed was that from the renders on the marketplace page, there was the cassettes, some of the parts were translucent. Probably because there was no mask included, or one that I haven't seen, you can, or some of the materials on the cassette can be set to translucent in that part, material slots, and that could actually make it somewhat translucent. Since I looked at the cassette inside, and the what was it called, the tape, it was coiled inside, so definitely the mesh is made for it. Only need to support it through material. And speaking of cassette, the issue that I had trying to remove the material slot through the modeling mode, I tried it again, and it seems that the issue is with the modeling mode that assigns index 1 as the active material, although I specifically choose index 0. I don't know if that's something that's fixed in 5.2 or still persists, and I don't know why it only happens for this mesh while the others work. I'll have to investigate that when I have time. And while being cinematic quality, I do think that they're also game ready as long as you remove the extra material slots, which make them a really valuable asset pack. Oh, and I forgot to mention that the folder size is about 6.8 gigabytes. And hope I covered everything. Peace out.